I want to talk about a particular setting in the Canon R7 that can really screw up your focus if you're not using it properly. So I'm going to show you what that setting is and when you need to enable it and when you don't. And if you stay tuned to the end of the video, I'm going to go into a little rant about the Canon R7. So stay right there. You're going to want to see this. Now, a couple of times when I shot these YouTube videos using the R7, I was shocked to see that the focusing was not really working well. And it especially doesn't work well when I'm using an external monitor, because when I'm using an external monitor, I can't tap on the screen to click to tap on my face so that the camera knows to focus on me. So the camera just needs to figure that out. Okay, here we go. So I'm gonna move around a little bit on the screen so that the camera loses the focus. And we're gonna kind of see if it is able to keep the focus or if it loses me at certain points. So far it's doing pretty good. It's gonna make a lie out of me, which is annoying. But believe me, sometimes this breaks. Okay, so there it's doing an okay job. Okay, so right there you see it was kind of hesitant and took a little while to catch my face. Here's a situation here where it's just kind of, there it goes. Okay, so now I have a little setting enabled. Let's see if it does a better job finding my face. So let's do this a few times. Okay, so in the last test, it pretty much missed I don't know how many times I did it, like 7 or 8 times, and it missed like maybe 3 or 4 of those times where it just wouldn't find my face again. And this time you're seeing that every time I come back, it is finding my face pretty quickly. And there's a reason for that. So there's a setting in the camera that is helping it find my face. And for some of you, it might be obvious. And for some who own this camera, you might not notice it. Like, I didn't notice it when I was shooting a wedding because I'm just not familiar with this setting because my other Canon cameras didn't have it. So I didn't even think about it. All right, so enough with the suspense. Let me show you the setting. So if you were to go to the quick menu and click on that little people icon, that is the subject detect option. So you have to make sure that's turned on. Now, if you don't have that in your quick menu, then you're going to want to go to your menu settings on the camera and go to AF. See, tap on that. And then right here in the first menu, number 1, you have subject to detect. So you click on that and make sure you select people. And that should get you going. So now let me show you something. If you switch the camera over to manual, because maybe you have it on a tripod, you're shooting a big group of people, like for me, I was shooting a ceremony, and obviously I'm trying to focus on the bride and the groom at the front of the aisle, not the people in the audience. So I don't want the camera to get confused and start focusing on someone's face in the audience. I want it to just focus on the bride and groom. So I put it in manual focus so that it stays. Now, when I walked back over to my camera, after the bride was handed off to the groom and I was repositioning it, I noticed that the little focusing guide box that I use to tell whether or not I'm in focus, it wouldn't move. It was locked in place, as you can see right here. And by the way, right now I am shooting the Canon R7 with another camera, the Sony FX30. And I have the R7 pointed to my computer screen. So it's kind of a simulation. This is not just like a playback on the Canon R7. This is me actually shooting something with the R7 to kind of show you what happened in the field. All right, let's get back to it. And in the moment, I couldn't figure it out. I didn't know why I was doing this. But what it was, once I got home and I wasn't super nervous anymore, I realized I still had the subject detect set to people, right? What's wrong with that? Well, what's wrong with that is when you have it set to people and you're in manual focus, that type of thing happens and you don't have the freedom to just move the box wherever you want. For some reason, there are situations where it will just lock up. Now you're saying, oh, just use the little focusing wheel. You know, that's what you got to do. And then you can switch the point. Notice when I just use that, nothing happens. Now, if this was like 4 people on the screen and they were all looking at me and it wasn't such a wide shot, but it was just like a head and shoulder shot of like 4 people right here, it will work fine. So in this stock image right here, you can see the people on the screen are much larger, right? You know, it's not, see, you got these 5 people right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, well, 6, 5, 6. Their faces are much larger on the screen. So even if I go back and I put it in subject detect, and it's kind of funny because, see now, it gives me the option now. Now I can kind of click on people's faces because they're bigger on the screen. If they're not big on the screen and they're not facing you, it's really going to have a hard time grabbing that face. So here's the bottom line. If you're like me and you like using the focus guide, then you should just turn subject detect off. And now, do you know what time it is? It's rant time, rant. We're gonna rant tonight. Okay, so time to rant about this camera, and it does relate to this manual focus, autofocus, people thing you gotta touch. Yeah, that's silly and it's annoying, but I think Canon can easily fix that in a firmware update so that it works a little bit better. For autofocus, I don't really think it's really a major problem. For manual focus, though, the fact that when that's on, you can't move the focusing guide, that's got to be fixed. That doesn't make any sense. But here's the other thing. If we go a step further, why is it that I have to stop recording to adjust that setting? To me, that doesn't make any sense. I should still be able to click on the Q button, bring up my quick menu, and adjust the type of focusing mode that I'm in. Maybe I don't want to use track and focus anymore. Maybe I want to use single point focus or spot, whatever it's called, spot focusing, or flexible zone or whatever. I want to switch off, or maybe I want to turn the people icon off, or maybe I want to turn it back on because I'm switching to autofocus. And you can't, once you start recording, you can't control that stuff. That's really annoying. I don't want to have to stop when I'm shooting a ceremony to adjust that type of stuff. That stuff should still be available for you when you're recording. It makes no sense that it is. So that's my rant. It's a very short one. Matter of fact, I have a whole bunch of rants in one video that I made. I believe it's called Canon R7, things that you should know before you buy. You might want to check that out because there's a lot of other issues with this camera that, again, I think Canon can fix in firmware, but they are annoying if you are shooting videos. So you're going to want to check those out. And that's about it. Hopefully you guys found that helpful. I hope that you paid attention to that and it doesn't screw you up like it screwed me up at 2 different gigs. And also, if you're having weird focusing issues with the Canon, what are they? Put them down in the comments below. If you absolutely love the camera and you think I'm crazy, put that down below too and tell me why. And yeah, any other issues that you're having with this camera that you think are kind of crazy, put them down below, man. I want to check them out for myself. I don't want them to screw me up if they're screwing you up. So just let me know. As always, I'm Mike Turner. Thanks for watching, and I guess I'll see you soon.